the evil within, 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 the evil within,
the evil within. Oh, that was the weirdest dream. It was like Chris Angel and Marilyn Manson had a incestuous love child and called it Carolyn. It's midnight. October 31st. That means it's time for a Halloween special. That's right, folks, it's not Halloween without a Halloween special. Charlie Brown had the Great Pumpkin, How I Met Your Mother had the Slutty Pumpkin, and Fred had the... You know what, let's not talk about that. The point is, we have a scary game to review, and that game is The Evil Within. This horrific mindfuck was developed by Tango Studios, being led by none other than Shinji Mikami, best known for creating Goof Troop and Aladdin for the SNES. Oh, and little games like Resident Evil 1 through 4, but hey, you get the idea. I'm gonna start this review on a high note by saying that the graphics engine is a poorly optimized piece of shit. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't a high note. You know what else isn't high? The FPS count, am I right?
Oh my god.
Seriously, the first hour of this game is so choppy it puts lumberjacks to shame. Look at this. Unacceptable. Well, Joey, that's just because you're playing on a filthy console, you possum. Ha! I'd love to see your PC run this game, buddy. The frame rate smooths out later on when the setting is more indoors, and the worst you'll see from there is texture pop-ins, even during cutscenes. Oh, I forgot, the game has a story. Let's talk about that. You play as Detective Sebastian Castellanos, investigating a mass murder within a mental hospital. Naturally, as mental hospitals are concerned, everything is as wrong as it seems, and Castellanos is KO'd by a dude in a white hood, totally not an assassin. I didn't look much into the story, so I thought it would be one of those cliche escape from the asylum plotlines. Until holy fucking shit, what's going on? That's pretty much my general response through most of the campaign. The satisfaction comes from getting closer to solving the mystery as to why these demonic events are happening. It's 15 chapters long and each one takes about an hour to complete. Do the math.
21?
I would also like to add that there's a fine line between movies and video games. I understand that as technology evolves, game developers try to make their games more cinematic to immerse the player even more than they could have before. All The Evil Within does is add black bars on the top and bottom to achieve what the film industry calls letterboxing. Beyond Two Souls did it, The Order 1886 is going to do it, and The Evil Within does it, but it adds practically nothing to the experience. Hell, they might as well add a sign where the bars are saying, "We're trying to be cinematic." It would have gotten the same message across. This is why I'm not really looking forward to The Order. If anything, the black bars only make the game more frustrating than it already is. I understand that having limited resources will make the game more stressful, therefore making it more survival horror-y. But in the Evil Within's case, it just feels goddamn unfair. I already felt pinned down at the beginning when I ran into some baddies not knowing how to fight them, thus resulting in me going in with a 25% health. Would it kill someone to put a health syringe in that part? Would it? Seriously, if all you play is the first hour of the game, it doesn't leave a good impression. Turns out, in order to kill enemies, you have to either blow their head off, which requires bullets, or light them on fire when they're down, which requires matches, both of which are scarce. So remember, kids, aim for the head and collect parts to build arrows, because melee attacks won't help for shit. But if you're lucky, the Angel of Glitches will shine upon you. Take that, game developers. Another thing the Evil Within struggles with is clarity, especially with this thing that looks like the spawn of the Grudge and that weird mannequin spider from the Silent Hill movie. You know, the bad one. Or the second bad one. Like, it would have been nice to know the first time that I had to run away from that bitch rather than waste my fucking ammo trying to kill it. Okay. I think I've made my point. The Evil Within has its flaws that just cannot be overlooked. But let's talk about what it does right.
I don't really find this game too terrifying. My definition of horror is when you feel anxious as if something is just going to pop out of the corner at any second.
Son of a dick!
What the hell are these things? They turn invisible and then poof! They try and suck your face off with their Cthulhu tentacles. I don't know what these things are called, so we'll just call them nopes. See also, the sound I make when one of these fuckers is in the same room that I'm in. Like I was saying, The Evil Within achieves in the atmosphere category. The setting is eerie as it is mysterious, and sets up the tone of the game very well. While I did complain earlier about how the limited supplies and ammunition make it more stressful, I feel it does benefit the game from being less repetitive. When you're running low on ammo in an area surrounded by bad guys, you might have to think outside of the box for more ways to kill them, and it can feel extremely satisfying.
Oh, that felt good. Real good.
The boss battles are also creative. Most of the time, it doesn't simply take a gun to murder one. There can be an objective you have to fulfill to defeat them, or you have to use whatever's in the environment to take them down.
Now, I know I've spent more time complaining about the Evil Within's mechanics, because let's face it, I love to complain, but at the same time, I couldn't help but still kind of enjoy it.
Sure, the game has its flaws, but when it all boils down to it, the team at Tango Games put together a pretty decent product. I think it helps that the mystery in the game is so intriguing to the point where you want to continue playing, and while the gameplay design can be frustrating as hell, it only makes levels more satisfying when you finally beat them. But I won't excuse these mistakes. Hell no. I wanted to pull my hair out more times than I can count, especially with that fucking beginning portion. So, in a nutshell, if you are a horror game enthusiast, feel free to add The Evil Within to your collection. When the price drops about $20, that is.
Huh. Can't help but feel I was a little too hard on that game. Oh well. It's better to be honest than to be a lying little
On my authority!
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. I try and post videos weekly. If you want more Ferris Wheel Productions news, be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Links in the description. Love you guys. I'm Joey Ferris, and I'll see you on the next ride.